Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're joining us today. Welcome to today's session where we'll explore the business opportunities for the fashion industry in the USA, specifically in the New York City, and most important, how the LIM College can help you boost your career in this sector. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this session. My name is Valentina Magni. I'm Community Engagement Manager at Global University Systems. And with me, I have two exceptional speakers. George Toledo, who is AVP of Enrollment Services, Graduate and International at LIM College. Hi, George, how are you?
Hi, Valentina. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here this morning.
Great, thank you, George. And we also have Lizeth Girls, who is our Associate Director for LATAM at InUni. Hi, Liz, how are you doing today?
Hi, Valley. I'm doing great. Really excited to share all the news and all the support that we have for you guys whenever you are planning to go to United States and specifically to LIM College.
Awesome, Lizeth. So I just wanted to remind everyone that this session is being recorded and will be shared with all of you who registered afterwards. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A box below, and we'll be glad to take them to our panelists. So, Liz, I would like to start with you because when you think about the US, I think one of the first things that comes to mind is a country full of growing opportunities. But why is it considered a first choice for international students?
Well, Vale, I mean, like, this is really interesting. And I've been in the industry for like around like 12 years. And always when someone asks me, like, which country do you think that is like the best country or that will offer more opportunities to students, I will always say United States. I actually studied myself in United States. So I could totally see through my experience all the opportunities that this country offers to our international students. So actually, I will show you like some statistics in the next slide where you can see that also students will be saying basically that the United States is growing as a destination for international students. Let me see if we can see the next slide. Vale, I don't know if you can see it there. There you go. So here you can see also statistics that shows that actually USA right now became like the first choice of students whenever they are planning to go to study abroad. Of course, we have seen increase in that because of like different changes in the policies in other countries like Canada, Australia, and any other destinations. But it's important for you also to understand that from the very beginning, United States has been always on the top of mind of every single student in the world. I will say, of course, I'm speaking about Latin America too, but pretty much about like the other countries around the world. So if we go to the next slide too, we can see that this growth has been not only in the last year, but in the past 5 years has been constantly growing or like maintaining and that can give you like an idea of how exciting it is to go to study in the United States, all the opportunity that you have, the different kind of opportunities in terms of studies. So I guess it's a great start, Valentina, to see that really the interest is out there whenever you are planning to go abroad.
Okay, so Liz, just let us know why study in the US. I would like to know that as well, please.
Well, that's kind of my favorite part. Maybe we can go ahead and the next slide. So we have pointed out here like few things, but just a few of them. Of course, you know that United States is considered as the world's strongest economy, and of course, it also shows all the growth that an international student can have in the country. Also, and this is very important for our students because it's usually what the students ask the most, and it's basically what opportunities they have in terms of like jobs or the career development. And it's here when we talk about the OPT and CPT. Probably you have heard about those yeah, those words, but let's say that OPT is optical practical training, optional practical training. And this is the eligibility that you as a student will have to work in the United States once you finish your career or your degree, even though if it's like undergraduate program or graduate program, you will be able to have 1 year of OPT. You will be able to work in your area of expertise, but it's really cool to have in mind that when you are doing like an STEM program, you will be able to have up to 3 years. So George will share more information with you about that too, but I guess that's really exciting because specifically in LIM College, you will see that we will have like different options of STEM programs that will also be like really important for your careers and will give you up to 3 years of a OPT. But besides that, Vale, whenever we are doing like any kind of degree in United States, we also like to practice, right? We want to gain experience. We want to be involved in all the industries. And that's why we really encourage our students to do the CPTs, which is curricular practical training, where they will be able to practice in the different companies of the industry, no matter what the sector is the one that you are studying in. But that's really exciting because we always provide all the support, and that's one of the main reasons to study in the USA. Of course, as you know, it's also pretty well recognized as one of the top destinations in terms of international education. And I always like to share like some statistics to you because there are like so many questions and myths about like United States. But as you can see here, there is like 83% of the international graduates who used to do the OPT or CPT opportunities are now working in the country. It means that the opportunities are enormous. The opportunities are like right there, and the students will actually be able to find a job, an internship, and everything to develop their careers. Of course, we have like one of the best cities in terms of rankings as the best cities in the world, 5 of them. And of course, we are also #1 in global innovation leaders in the North American region. So I guess we have like so many good things when we talk about United States. And there is also something that we don't mention here, but I always like to talk about, and it's the return of investment. We usually never take into consideration this, and usually we never speak about that. But whenever we think about like return of investment, how easy or how fast I will just bring the money back what I have invested, I will say that United States is probably one of the top 3 countries that will give you more return of investment whenever you are like pursuing a degree, again, undergrad or graduate programs. So that's also really exciting for our students.
Well, thanks a lot, Liz. With those numbers, the US sound like a great option for international students. And could you please tell us what makes the US educational system and their support for students so appealing?
Absolutely. Like we can go ahead with the next slide. If you help me with this, please. So basically, it's really important to understand that United States has like over 4,000 institutions. So we're not talking on a small country, or we're not speaking of like small institutions, but we have more like, I guess right now is around like 4,500 higher education institutions. So basically, we really offer like a huge system for our students, and also it contributes in terms of economics, and international students are really important for United States, again, in the economic side as well. But not only that, of course, the job support that we are offering, or the country is offering for the international students, also is really important. You can here see like some statistics and some numbers about the job support. And this is really exciting, again, because whenever we are going to study abroad, we always want to be there or have experience there or try to grow more and expand your curriculum. So absolutely, US will be always the best choice for you to go and study and pursue your dreams too.
And what about the student support?
That's the most exciting part for me, specifically because I want to link it, of course, with LIM. I could see like myself all the like amazing support that our students will get whenever they are studying in our university.
Oh, I think we lost Liz for a moment.
Did you? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry, internet is always like that. So I was
Yeah.
saying that if we can go to the next slide, please. I will be able also to show you a little bit more about the higher education system, because probably in like Latin American countries and probably around the world, we always just see like one option to go, like universities, or maybe just like these little or smaller institutions. But the nicest thing of United States that you will find among these like 4,500 institutions, those kind of let's say those kind of institutions like community colleges that are usually used as a pathway to go to a bigger university after 2 years of associate degrees. Then we have, of course, the private colleges, which are like smaller sizes, more focused on business or liberal arts. And then finally, we come to the public universities and private universities. Public universities, as you know, of course, are funded by the state governments. They offer like tuition rates that sometimes you feel that are cheaper, but it's not always like that. And then we have the private universities as LIM College, sorry. And then the cool part in here is that you will feel that your education will be more personalized, because basically you will be able to enjoy smaller class sizes. You will be able to have more personalization. You will be able to have also more support. So that's kind of like the 4 ways for you to study in the United States. But of course, we will be focusing today in the private universities. So if we go to the next slide, I can answer your question, Vale, about the student support that the country, but also that we will be giving to our students. Again, George will be deeply on this, but basically any university that you will attend, or at least like the most popular ones, are like really well universities. United States will offer to you a state-of-the-art facilities. It means that you will be able to have a opportunity to enjoy libraries, facilities, beautiful facilities, options to have access to all the resources that they need in order to have, like, of course, all the support during the 4 years of a bachelor degree or the 1 or 2 years of a master degree. But the best part, again, I need to reinforce this, is about the career development, because again, it's one of the most common questions that the student asks. So basically, we always support the students if it's like about like writing your resume or preparation for your interview, or what will be the best to apply for a CPT, what is the pathway for you to apply to the OPT after you finish your program. And of course, the academic advice is really important for us. Basically, we want to really help students to excel their studies. We include like workshops, assistance of assignments, to be there with the students whenever we have a job fair. So we really support our students from the very beginning to the end of all the journey. And in the next slide, we will be covering the last 2 parts of our student support. If you can help me, please, with the next slide. Beautiful. Which is also really interesting and important for you. Of course, your journey will start whenever you will apply for a visa in order to go to United States. And then we will be also there. International Students Office is always focused to help students in terms of visa, the immigration, any issues that the student can face during the time that they will be there. Also from our side, we also give support previous to the time that they will just go to United States. So it's really personalized support that we really feel that the students are always accompanied by us, which is the most important thing for us in general. And finally, when we speak about housing, of course, like many institutions will request you to stay the first year of your bachelor degree inside the campus or in the housing of the university, but it really depends of the universities. It is never mandatory for like graduate students or master students, but always we will have like a housing department that will support our students with the specific needs, and whatever they really need to feel at home, away from home, we will be able to support it.
That is great info, Liz. Thank you very much, because one of the concerns that international students have when choosing a destination is finding a country that feels welcoming from the first moment. And it really sounds like the student support in the US is a great way to take that away, to take that worry away, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
Vale. But here is the most exciting part. So I will be just giving this microphone to George so he can share with you all the opportunities at LIM College. So hi, George.
Hi, Lise. Thank you so much. Excellent. And thank you,
Hi,
Valentina.
George.
Thank you very much for being here. So yeah, as Liz told us, we would like to have a more deeper view about New York City, what it has to offer to international students. So can you tell us a few facts about New York City and what makes it a great destination for international students from all around the world?
100%. I would love to. Can we go to the next slide? There we are. Excellent. So New York City actually in 2023 was ranked number one amongst preferred study destinations specifically for international students. And for the last year, New York City actually was home to 135, just over 135,000 international students, making up 8% of the total across the US. So New York City and New York State is a very popular destination in general for students, but specifically for international students. New York City is home to 50 plus Fortune 500 companies, and is also considered one of the best cities to visit in the world, given its wonderful world cultural institutions and destinations. New York City is a global fashion hub. So I know the students joining us today, if they're interested in LIM, are interested in pursuing a degree in the business of fashion and lifestyle. And where better to earn a degree in the business of fashion other than right here in the fashion capital of the world? With that, our students do have extensive networking opportunities, specifically within finance, technology, arts, and media. And New York City has an abundance of public libraries as well. So while our students do have our Marcuse, our Adrian G. Marcuse Library on campus at LAM, the New York City public library system is extremely extensive. It's across all five boroughs. It's free to gain a library card and use those resources for a quiet place to study or to research. But New York City is all encompassing and a wonderful place to be.
Great. So if we move to the next slide, please, I think you can tell us more about how studying in the New York City is like, right?
100%. So New York City is all encompassing. It is a wonderful melting pot of many different cultures that have come together to live within this beautiful city. Across New York City, more than 800 different languages are spoken, as well as there's extensive public transportation. So there's no need for a car, worrying about driving or parking. You can simply use the MTA, which is our subway and our bus systems, to get across all five of the boroughs. And New York City also has countless food options as well. At LAM, we did previously have a meal plan. We no longer have a meal plan because our students were taking advantage of the 24,000 restaurants that New York City has to offer. So our students have countless options for food, as well as our international students will often say they're able to get a little taste of home right here in New York City, given the many different cuisines that are offered throughout. New York City has global access to everything that you can possibly imagine. New York is home to world famous cultural institutions, so many different museums, the Statue of Liberty, different tourist sites, and things that people will constantly travel in for, as well as this does provide our students with top networking opportunities as well. So while there are many different fashion company headquarters located right here in New York City, as well as many different companies and brands, these companies and brands have a global focus as well. So our students are able to network globally while with us at LIM in New York. And again, everyone is here. There are 900 fashion company corporate headquarters located right here in New York City, 5,000 fashion showrooms and studios across the city as well. And 75 major fashion trade shows and market weeks do take place throughout the year. And our students even have the opportunity to participate within some of these events as well.
Good. So, well, as you said, the New York City is worldwide known for its vibrant environment. But it's good to know some key information specifically on what makes it a great city to live and study. George, and what about the LIM College? Could you please tell us more about how studying there can help boost a career in the fashion industry and what the programs look like?
Definitely. I would love to. Could we go to There we are. Excellent. So, to give you a brief history of LIM College, so LIM did open in 1939. At that time, we opened as the Laboratory Institute of Merchandising. We did open under our first president, Maxwell F. Marcuse, and at that time, we were specifically a certificate awarding institution teaching women the skills needed to work within fashion merchandising. Over the past 85 years, almost 86 years, the institution has grown. We've been driven by innovation, creativity, and an entrepreneurial spirit. We've developed bachelor's degree programs as well as master's degree programs, all focusing within the business of fashion and lifestyle. So we've expanded a little more so from merchandising, have incorporated marketing, supply chain, consumer analytics, and different areas of working within the business of fashion and lifestyle, always holding true to our experiential education and our learn by doing philosophy, in which students are required to complete internships alongside their degree programs. So for our international students, that does incorporate the CPT at the undergraduate level. There are a minimum of three internships required at the graduate level. A minimum of one internship is required, but that really does advocate for students to move directly into the industry and really give them that practical career readiness to begin their careers upon graduation. And more recently, we have dedicated everything we do at the institution to ensuring that we do create a diverse and equitable and inclusive and sustainable environment for our students and the entire community as a whole.
Great. So if we move to the next slide, please. I think George can tell us more about the undergraduate and postgraduate programs.
Most definitely. So we'll go ahead, we'll start off with our industry partners. So on an annual basis, LIM College does partner with about 800 different companies across the fashion and lifestyle industry to assist our students with gaining internship opportunities, attend events, and the hope is always to move them into positions upon graduation, especially for that optional practical training or OPT for our international students. But our relationships across the industry do truly range. We have relationships with luxury brands like Tiffany and Company, Valentino, Salvatore Ferragamo, Louis Vuitton. I think we're all pretty familiar with those names, as well as multi-brand retailers like Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue, and Walmart. We've expanded into more of the lifestyle area, in which our students are going into other areas of consumer goods. So working with companies within beauty like Sephora, or within food and entertainment, like with Pepsi and Company, within finance at Morgan and Stanley. So our students are able to really grasp a concept of the fashion and lifestyle industry and where they'd like to end up post-graduation. And again, our undergraduate students do have a minimum of three required internships, and graduate students have a minimum of one. However, given our career success track, they can begin interning from their first semester onward throughout their program. So it really does create a lot of great opportunity. And on the next slide, I will jump into all of our degree programs.
Okay, yeah, so can we move to the next slide, please? Just so George can tell us more about the programs. There we are.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. And so we'll get started by talking about our undergraduate degree programs. So at the undergraduate level, we do offer a few different bachelor's degree programs, as well as we have in place two different associate degree programs. At the bachelor's level, we have BBA degrees, which is a Bachelor of Business Administration, a BPS, which is a Bachelor of Professional Studies, as well as a BS, which is a Bachelor of Science. We have 6 different majors that students can enroll within. Our freshmen do come in as undecided and use the first semester or the first year to really decide which major fits them best. But we also have students who come in, hit the ground running, and know exactly what they want to do from the start. But we do have our fashion management and leadership degree, which is a revamp of our management degree. It does focus on understanding management of teams and how to work with different personalities and different people, but it really does focus much more so on leadership and growing yourself into a future leader in the industry. Our fashion marketing degree will focus within consumer trends and behaviors, the core concepts of brand management and public relations, or how to present your brand or your product to the public or to the people. Our fashion media degree will focus within all of the media side of the house. So within fashion publications, within TV and entertainment. So our students are learning some of the marketing techniques, but then definitely gaining the digital aspect and the artistic aspect to go into the media realm of the industry. Fashion merchandising is going to focus within buying, planning and allocation, product development, trend forecasting, and many different areas of fashion and visual merchandising. Our visual studies degree is our most creative degree program. I tell undergraduate students that have more of a design or an artistic focus, visual studies would fit them best. You do still gain those hardcore business skills from the visual studies degree, and you ultimately will earn a Bachelor of Business Administration, but it does focus a little bit more on the artistic side of working within the industry, so focusing within visual displays and visual merchandising, alongside gaining business knowledge as well. Then we have our BBA in the business of fashion. This program is specifically for transfer students, so students who are coming to us with 60 plus credit hours at the undergraduate level. For the most part, students will have earned an associate degree either at a community college or another university in the US, or transfer to us from outside of the US with that associate level degree. And then they're guaranteed to graduate with their BBA in the business of fashion in 2 years after joining us at LIM. I'll also mention our bachelor's degrees are all very traditional 4-year bachelor's degrees. So starting from the beginning to end, you'll generally see yourself with us for 4 years. Transfer credit can definitely change that timeline to graduation as well. The associate level, we do have 2 different associate degree programs. We have our fashion merchandising and management associate in applied sciences, as well as our fashion merchandising associate in occupational studies. Both of our associate degrees are just at 62 credit hours and can be completed within 2 years. Generally speaking, the associate degree are the first 2 years of the bachelor's degree, and then you would move on to finish the final 2 years in your major to complete the bachelor's. So we'll have some students who start off with the associate, go into the bachelor's, or others who will just complete the bachelor's from their first year onward. At the undergraduate level, we do also have an honors program. So for high achieving high school students who apply toward the college, it's possible to apply toward our honors program. The honors program will give you priority registration for your classes. So you'll register with all of the senior level students as well as the graduate students. You'll get first pick of classes if you're in the honors program. There is an honors designation that you'll gain at graduation from taking, I believe it's about 18 credit hours worth of honors courses to complete the honors program. And we also allocate money for honors students to study abroad. So it's a wonderful opportunity for students to take advantage of once at LIM. And now we'll talk about our degree programs at the graduate level. So we do have in place 6 different graduate degree programs as of this fall 2025 semester. We do have 2 different MS or Master of Science degree programs. We have our consumer analytics degree. It's heavily analytical. We'll focus very much so on the collection of consumer data, how to interpret that data, tell a story, and then work with the marketers to draw the consumers back towards your business, brand, or product. Global fashion supply chain management, much more niche. We'll focus more so behind the scenes, production, logistics, sourcing of materials, supply chain solutions. And then we do have 3 different MPS or Master of Professional Studies degree programs. I always like to get the MPS degree started off with an introduction. So you might be wondering, what is an MPS or a Master of Professional Studies? These degree programs are going to be very specific They're going to focus within one area of the industry. There are no elective requirements that focus outside of your realm of fashion. There are also no liberal studies or language requirements like you might see within a traditional Master of Arts program. And they do all focus more so on practical skills and knowledge that can be related directly to your workplace, as opposed to more theoretical knowledge that you might find within a traditional Master of Science program. So the MPS degrees are very specific and very geared toward moving our students directly into careers in the industry upon graduation. So with that, we do have our MPS in fashion marketing, similar concepts to the undergraduate degree program, but at a graduate level. Fashion merchandising and retail management, again, we'll focus on similar concepts from the undergraduate fashion merchandising, but again, at more of a graduated or an accelerated level. And then we do have an MPS in the business of fashion. This degree program allows an industry professional to come into our Marquette School of Graduate Studies and create their own program of study, pairing together courses from all of the different graduate degree programs that we offer. It is our one program with any prerequisite, so we will require that you have at least 2 years of postgraduate corporate fashion experience. If you meet that criteria, it's a wonderful program to move forward and enroll within. If not, you are still more than eligible to apply toward any of our other graduate degree programs. And starting this fall semester, we'll be introducing our MBA, so our Master of Business Administration, focusing within luxury brand management. The topics within the luxury brand management degree will focus similarly to the fashion marketing and fashion merchandising degree programs. It will have some consumer analytics within as well and focus within the digital aspect, but it will be more honed in on the luxury sphere of working within the industry. I'll also mention our MS and our MPS degrees are all 1 year in length over a 12-month period, so 3 consecutive semesters over 12 months. The MBA will be a very traditional 2 year graduate degree program. And all graduate degree programs at LIM do have a STEM designation, with the exception of the MPS in the business of fashion. That program, given that the student chooses their own coursework, we cannot guarantee a STEM designation for it, but all other programs do have a STEM designation, which, as Liz had mentioned earlier in the session, is a wonderful opportunity for students attending on an F1 visa. This STEM designation will allow them to apply for a 24-month extension of their initial OPT, so they can ultimately gain up to 36 months of OPT post-graduation. And we are currently seeing students who are achieving that 2 year extension right now from our first cohort of our MS in consumer analytics. So again, it is a wonderful opportunity for our international students to take advantage of.
Well, all these programs sound very exciting, George, to be honest. And they seem to have all the subjects that are relevant to succeed in the fashion industry for both undergraduate and graduate students. So thank you for that information. Okay, so with all this valuable information that Lizeth and George gave us, I am sure that there are many interested in knowing more about how to apply to LIM College. So don't wait any longer. If you're ready to start the process, or if you would like to have more information, please contact your educational advisor and start your journey in New York City with LIM College. So this wraps up our session for today. Thank you everyone who attended. And remember, this session will be shared with you afterwards. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out so that we can get them answered. Thank you, George. Thank you, Lizette, for all this information. Thanks again, everyone, for attending this session. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Vali. Thanks, George. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.